So I've been scouring the internet for the least expensive and simplest Klipper solution I can find. Digging deep down into the trenches, I came across this. And this is the Inovato Quadra. And this is exciting because it's a Klipper solution that comes pre-installed with Linux, has built-in Wi-Fi, a 16 gigabyte eMMC module, 2 gigabytes of RAM, and get this, it only costs $35. If we open the envelope and see what's inside, we'll see that the Quadra comes with a 5-volt power supply, an HDMI cable, a little information card on how to get started, and here we have the Quadra unit itself. It has the usual ports available: power port, a single USB 2.0, 100 megabit Ethernet, full-size HDMI, and an audio port. Ooh. It also includes a single USB 3.0 port, as well as a micro SD card slot, for those of you who can't seem to get away from those things. But it's hard to believe that this package was only $35. So let's see if it's worth its salt. Let's fire it up, get Klipper installed, and see how she do. Okay, so there's no power button on the unit itself. So I'm just going to plug in the 5-volt supply and let it rip. I have it connected to my Hosyond 7-inch touchscreen, and as a side note, this case is printed in PETG with the new hot end parts I installed. You can see here it's using Armbian as its Linux distro of choice. It loads XFCE on boot up, and it asks for the password that's supplied on the Getting Started card. So you'll have to plug in a keyboard to put in the password. And once you do that, you'll see that on the bottom it has a bunch of apps already built in, but we're not too worried about that. It is a little hard to see on this screen because of the resolution it chose to run on, so I would recommend connecting it to a monitor to get it configured. If you click in the upper right-hand corner, you can get the Wi-Fi network connection drop-down, and from here you can just choose your Wi-Fi network, and when it asks you for it, just put in your Wi-Fi password and hit connect. And because I had the USB module plugged in, I actually got 2 choices instead of just the one that I normally would. So because it comes pre-installed with a web browser, I'm just going to open up Firefox. I'm going to go to the Kaya page, and while that's going on, I'm going to go in here, and I'm going to do a little bit of housekeeping, and I'm going to change the password for my login. Now I'm on the Kaya page. I'm going to grab the 3 lines of information that we need to paste into the command prompt, and we'll just copy that information with Control-C. And then inside of the command prompt, we can paste that by holding Control, Shift, and then pressing the V button. And now we're ready to run our Kaya script and install Klipper the way that we normally would. So I ran through the Klipper installation, restarted, and everything just came up. So from here I have to connect it to my printer. I'll connect the USB. I'm going to install the USB binary onto my Neptune 3, and then we'll power everything up and see how it goes. So I'm going to use the binary from my GitHub page and put it into my Neptune 3. So I'll insert the card with the binary file on it, power it up, and we'll wait about 3 minutes. We'll see right away that the Quadra is loading up. I'm going to attach it with the USB cable and try to connect. Okay, so I've got my MKS Pi powered up just so I can go into the printer.cfg file. Do a Control-A, Control-C to copy. I'm going to go into the Inovato Quadra, which is already here. It calls up by host name. That's a plus. I can't get the MKS Pis to do that anymore. They were doing it, but they don't do it anymore. They were just like, screw off. We don't want to do that anymore. So go into the printer.cfg for the Inovato Quadra. I will just highlight this, delete, Control-V, and paste. From here, I can do a save and restart. Go back into printer.cfg because I forgot to change the device. I'll try the TTY USB 0 first and see if that comes up. If not, I'll have to grab the actual name. Okay, let's try to do it by the name. I can SSH into the device by just going to Windows Command Prompt, typing in SSH 192.168.1.25 because that is the address that was assigned. The Default username is Quadra. I'll put in the password. And from there, I'll do an ls/dev/serial/by ID with a star. And we can see right here, this comes up. I'll do a Control C to copy it, go into the printer.cfg. Take this, paste it, save and restart. I might have to power down the printer. I flashed the firmware, but I didn't power it down, so that might be a part of it. Whenever you have an issue with getting the USB to load, you could actually go into the log files here. So I am having a little bit of an issue getting it to connect, I will admit, but there's a service called BRLTTY that seems to be coming on a lot of distros lately, and that tends to interfere with the USB port. So if you run into that situation, what you'll want to do is you'll want to do a sudo service BRLTTY stop, and then a sudo app remove BRLTTY, which will take it out. I'm just restarting the system right now and seeing if I can get it to connect. The one thing that it is doing a lot is that it's changing the IP address every time it connects, so it's good that it's using the host, or I'd have to configure a static IP address for it. Okay, so I did have a little bit of an issue getting it to connect, and what I wound up doing was I just went in and did a make menu config and compiled a new binary and flashed that. So I know people have been having good luck with the binaries on my GitHub page, but I might update those just in case somebody else has this kind of an issue. But it does seem like everything came up. I'm going to do a force move. That way I can, it doesn't let me move Z anyway. So let me try. All right, X just worked. Y just worked. I'll turn off force move. And let me see if Z will go up. Okay, everything looks like it's working okay. I'm going to switch back to live view so you guys can see what's going on. Okay, so we're back live. It all seems to be working here on the screen. Temperatures are all reading properly. I'll try and home it out. I'll try and move it around a little bit. Okay, so far so good. So if we go to their website at inovato.com, you can see that the Inovato Quadra is pretty much the only product that they offer. And we see on the main page, it's a $34.95 solution for school, home, and hobby. And now, Klipper. If you go to the Buy a Quadra link right here, we can see that there are a couple of different purchasing options. You've got the Quadra bare bones by itself. You've got the upgrade kit, which they sent as part of the package. I would like to thank Inovato for sending me the Quadra and the upgrade kit so I could do this review. And for another $4, you can get a simple 3D printed stand to mount your Quadra vertically. I'm sure that there will be some other solutions on Thingiverse and printables and what have you as well in the near future. If we go to the select link right here, we can see that the specifications are pretty good. It has an all-winner H6 quad-core A53 processor, and it has 2 gigabytes of DRAM, 16 gigabytes of eMMC memory. As mentioned before, it has the 100 megabit Ethernet, 2.4G Wi-Fi, the micro SD card slot, 2 USB ports. With the upgrade kit, you can get the 5G Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. It has a default resolution of 1920 by 1080p. It takes a 5-volt, 2-amp power supply. That is included. It has an enclosure, and apparently there is a heatsink already installed on the CPU chip itself. So some takeaways about the Inovato Quadra. Again, it's a $35 full solution for Klipper or Octoprint. I'm sure you can install Octoprint just as easily through the Kaya script. It includes a power supply, and it already has an enclosure, so you don't have to worry about printing out any kind of enclosure or mounting a raw board somewhere. It has built-in Wi-Fi, even though it's only 2.4G. You can get the upgrade package with the 5G, Wi-Fi module, and Bluetooth. It was super easy to install Klipper. All I had to do was copy and paste the Kaya script and then run the installer. Yes, I did have some issues with the binary file getting loaded, but that was rectified easily by running the make menu config. And if you're running Klipper, you should eventually, or at least at some point, learn how to compile your own binaries. Don't be reliant on anybody else, because those people, as my friend Kevin used to say, could get hit by a bus full of nuns, and you'll be left out by yourself. Some of the downsides is that there is no GPIO, so you can't run the UART connection on the J17 like I do with my MKS Pi. If you want to run an accelerometer, you'll have to get a USB version of an ADXL 345. So there are some minor caveats to the unit being this inexpensive. It's also lacking in USB ports, so if you wanted to run multiple machines, you're at the mercy of how well a USB hub can distribute the signals across multiple printers. So that'll about wrap it up for this video. I do hope you found this to be useful. I hope you found the Inovato Quadra to be a useful solution to you for running Klipper on your machines on the cheap. I think that it is a fantastic little product to basically get you started in Klipper and not have to spend a fortune doing so. There are other solutions, such as the MKS Pi, which is around $47-ish or $45, between $45 and $50, and you have to wait a minimum of 2 weeks to get it from AliExpress, unless you want to order it from Amazon, and it's almost double the price. There's the Libre Renegade, and again, Libre Computers was great enough to send me one of their Renegade boards to do a review on, so I can't put that down in any way. The only things that I can say about the Renegade board is that I'm having issues with the GPIO section. Because I'm running an Armbian distribution and I'm not running the standard distributions that they offer, I'm still waiting for the most recent kernel updates to be released so I can go with the official distros on that. With the Renegade, you have to purchase a separate Wi-Fi module. And that being said, once you plug that in, you start losing your USB ports, and you only have 2 on the Renegade as well. So you're not really losing much for the $35 that you're going to be spending on the Quadra versus the MKS Pi, the Libre Renegade, or the other solutions that are available. Also keep in mind that you have to print out cases for all of the other boards that I've mentioned, so there's that. Please be aware that this is not a sponsored advertisement, and I'm not receiving any kind of affiliate commissions for this other than receiving the Quadra itself for free. So this is not a biased opinion. This is a totally unbiased opinion. I just feel that for $35, it's basically Klipper Lite. It gives you all of the functionality and features that a Sonic Pad would. If you couple it with a 7-inch screen, yeah, you have to do a little bit of tap dancing with the ADXL. You have to get a USB version, but you're still under $100 versus spending almost $200 for a Sonic Pad, and the Sonic Pad has limitations in the Klipper firmware. So there are some trade-offs for every solution that you get. If you like this video, please be sure to like, subscribe, comment, and share. Let me know in the comments if you want to see anything in the upcoming videos that I haven't covered yet. And if you feel generous, down in the description, you can leave me some catnip. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you soon.